I thought the saga would continue, and I was correct. Cheryl Swoopes spoke again, and while she made some flubs, I think she also clarified some things. Let's dive into it. Hey, you. I'm a brand new channel, so if you enjoy my content, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of September, and it's been a blast engaging with all of you in the comments. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now back to it. So Cheryl Swoopes was on Spaces again, and I think she had some valid things to say and made some clarifications. I'm going to play a highlight of that space for y'all where Cheryl addresses her comments from the Gills Arena podcast about Caitlyn being a bully and her support on X for Diamond to Shields.
So I know somebody said that I called Caitlyn a bully. No, I didn't. So that conversation on Gills was, Gil brought up something about, well, Angel Reese is a bully because she laughs when Caitlyn gets fouled and they play hard against her, and Kennedy Carter is a bully because the foul that she had on Caitlyn. Let me also say this, that foul from Kennedy on Caitlyn, was it a basketball play? Absolutely not. No, it wasn't. But you also have to go back and look at what Caitlyn did to Kennedy prior to that play. That's a different conversation. So anyway, they were talking about the pushing and all the hard fouls and things like that. So he said, so then they're bullies. And I said, well, to me, that doesn't necessarily make them a bully. It was a question. I asked Gil, I said, so Caitlyn pushes off all the time. Does that make her a bully? It was a question. It wasn't me saying, so she is a bully. And so the other day, I sent something to Diamond to Shields, basically saying, keep your head up. And then people said I sent her that because of all the hard fouls she had on Caitlyn. Like, that ain't me, y'all. That ain't me. I sent her that message because people sent her messages saying, I hope your tumor comes back and you die from it. So damn right, I'm going to reach out to her and make sure she's okay. And I'm going to continue to do that. So if that makes me a bad person, or if that makes me not like Caitlyn because I want to take on other players and make sure they're good, I mean, it is what it is. But I will be very clear and say this. If I don't like you, I'm going to say I don't like you. I think Caitlinclark is a hell of a basketball player.
So I'm going to give my initial thoughts, which are, I think the Diamond to Shield situation was overblown. And I think it's perfectly fine to reach out to someone to support them when they're getting the type of level of harassment that Diamond is getting. Now, some of that was Diamond getting maybe, trolled by bots and stuff like that. You shouldn't feed the trolls, but still, I think it's perfectly acceptable to send that. And I think it's unfair to attribute malice to Cheryl in this situation, like that she is supporting the hit on Caitlyn. I will say that Cheryl, it would help her out a lot to be cognizant of the previous situations, like the Kennedy Carter situation, and learn from that. Now, where I think Swoopes gets into a bit of trouble is her recollection of what she said on Gills Arena's podcast, which was, she says she didn't call Caitlyn a bully. She was asking a question if she was. Here's the audio so you can hear it for yourself.
Right, so one is built for, right, taking flops and stuff. That's just the way she's built her game. So any contact she feels, she's gonna flop a little bit, right? And that's how she sells certain fouls. But with Angel, she's rugged, right? She's a rugged girl, right? She's built for trying to bully. She's a bullier, right? No one feels sorry for the bullier.
She's not a bully. She's not a bully.
Oh, you probably just never seen the poster. She's bullying the veterans.
She's not a bully. Well, I mean, if you want to talk about bullies, we can talk about every time Caitlyn has the ball, she pushes off.
Oh, no.
I'm just saying, like...
But she has that advantage. She has the advantage of like an Allen Iverson or a Curry. Because they're light, they can hit you, do all the little cheap stuff. You hit them, they're going to flop and fall. That's just the benefit of being a guard.
So in this chat, it doesn't sound like a question at all. She said, if you want to talk about bullies, we can talk about every time Caitlyn touches the ball, she is pushing off. So she is wrong on the facts, but if that was her intention, then I think the problem is that Swoopes doesn't own her mistakes. If that's what you really meant to say, then say, hey, I didn't word it correctly and the flow of the conversation quickly got away from my point. But my intention was to ask the question to the group, do you think Caitlyn plays like a bully because that she pushes off, etc.? This way, you both take accountability and clarify your message. It's a win-win. Any reasonable person, I believe, would accept that. Also, to be honest, watching that episode of Gills Arena, it was clear to me at multiple points, Cheryl got emotional. You could see it in her body language, hear it in her voice.
Just kind of like she's embraced this kind of villain role and how that squad is kind of looked at. I think they play hard, they play physical. They're going to do what they do.
I don't even know what to say right now because I am frustrated.
She wasn't emotional about Caitlinclark, but I think she feels strongly for the players she feels like a mentor to, which are players like Angel Reese. when I'm emotional, I'm not going to word things the best way at that moment. I'm capable, but the accuracy of what I want to convey in many ways is going to go down. I think that is a perfectly reasonable explanation for how Cheryl misspoke on that podcast. That said, you still need to own your mistakes. The last part is, I already see bubbling about this space is that during Cheryl's Clark bully explanation on Spaces, she did imply that Caitlyn may have deserved the cheap shot because she threw an elbow. I still, to this day, have looked at that clip, and honestly, I don't see an elbow by Clark, or at least it's incidental at best. Instead, I see Clark, as she is going back down the court, talk trash to Kennedy, and that seems like what really got her going. Regardless, you can't condone cheap shots, and I don't want to harp on Kennedy Carter because she's been through that mess. She was saving Caitlin from falling the next game. She's a great player with some issues, and I personally hope she beats them. We don't know the full consequences, but at the very least, Cheryl is taking a break. Today, the Wings and Mystics game featured Nancy again, and her Queens of the Court podcast did not post an episode, which is normally every Tuesday. We will have to see how things develop or if something official comes out, but for now, Cheryl isn't active for the WNBA despite how active she is on X. In closing, I hope someone can get to Cheryl because if she truly believes what she says, I think her path to redemption is through accountability. Sometimes it's hard to get through our own pride, and Cheryl has been irresponsible by reposting false information, trying to defend herself, and when all she needs to do is back off, take accountability, and say what's really in her heart. So it's not left up to the interpretation of people that want to be mad. She can also, really honestly, just get in there and do her job. Talk about Caitlin Clark. You don't have to, speak glowingly of her every time that you need to. You can mention her like a professional, and then you can gush about the players that you really care about, and that's perfectly acceptable too. All that said, I want you to remember that you're going to be amazing today because you are amazing. Like, subscribe. I'll catch you next episode.